14,659 confirmed aggregate cases of coronavirus in Victoria. That's 394 more than our last update. I'm saddened to say that there have been 210 deaths due to this pandemic in Victoria. That is an additional 17 fatalities since our last update. They include 2 males in their 50s, 4 males in their 70s, 4 females and 2 males in their 80s, and 2 females and 3 males in their 90s. To each of those families we send our sincere condolences, our sympathies, our best wishes. This will be an incredibly difficult time for them, and I want them to know that they are in our thoughts and prayers as we continue to do everything we possibly can to deal with this second wave and to get beyond it. 10 of those 17 deaths are linked to aged care outbreaks. There are 634 Victorians that are in hospital. 43 of those are receiving intensive care. 26 of those Victorians are on a ventilator. A total of 1,801,385 tests have been processed since the beginning of the pandemic. That is an increase of 41,416 on yesterday, so a massive testing effort. I'm not going to sit here and try and be someone who interprets the effectiveness of our messaging, and nor am I going to be singling out particular groups. Those who are doing the wrong thing know and understand exactly who they are. Sometimes their behaviour and what motivates it will be a mystery. I wouldn't necessarily agree with the criticism that you're making. We are, all of us, working as hard as we can, and of course, not every Victorian is necessarily watching this broadcast now. We use many other platforms, many other platforms, but I think a growing number of Victorians are doing the right thing. That says to me that the seriousness of this challenge is well known and is motivating the best of choices. But there will always be, as you said, I think you opened with the point that there will always be a percentage of people who make bad choices. That's why we have a Victoria Police Force. That's why we have a statute book that we add to all the time. That's why, unfortunately, we have to be out there spending enormous amounts of your money making sure that rules are appropriately policed. We're always looking to refine our messages. This is one platform. It is not the only platform. We use lots of different ways to engage. Sometimes traditional media, sometimes me answering questions. Other times it's through alternative platforms and direct engagement, literally knocking on people's doors. I would say to you, for instance, the authorised officers of the health department and ADF going literally door to door is a very important way in which we can better understand and hopefully have a situation where there are better choices being made. That's not just about compliance. I know I've made this point a few times, but it's not just about compliance. It's also about making sure that if anyone needs anything, we're there to provide that for them. But that's not something that's happened in other states, but it is happening here because we believe that's an innovative but common sense way that we can get the message out. If we want to get past this, if we want to get to the other side of it, then each of us have got to make choices that are conducive with that and the strategy working. I know it's hard, it's incredibly difficult. There's nothing easy about having to make these choices either, having to make these decisions, but I've made them because it's what our experts say and it's what will work. I think trying to be as clear as possible is very important. If we don't limit movement, if we don't follow the rules, we as a state have zero chance of driving down these numbers. It won't happen by accident. It won't happen because of good fortune. It won't happen because of the passage of time. We need to make these decisions. That's why we have, and we need to make them work. As challenging, as heartbreaking, as difficult as that is, there's just no alternative. This virus is a wicked, silent enemy, and it will only be defeated if we have a united front against it, and that is about everyone making the best choices, and that's why I'm so so grateful to the vast majority of Victorians who are. We don't want people spending time with others. None of the settings across the whole spectrum of human activity across Melbourne and indeed regional Victoria countenance the notion of wearing a mask. It's completely unique, it's completely new, and therefore there'll be from time to time some of these areas that need to be tidied up. I understand and appreciate that these are very challenging decisions for businesses and workforces, for families, for individuals to live with. They're very, very challenging. They're not in any sense easy to make either. They are heartbreaking calls to make. But the simple fact of the matter is this: if every person who came to me and argued passionately, eloquently, whether it be publicly or privately, that they're low risk and that they should get a pass, they should be able to continue pretty much as normal, then we will finish up with more people at work and more people moving around the community in August than we had in July or June, and that'll just mean we have zero chance, like no chance whatsoever, of driving these numbers down. That's what's guiding us. It's nothing more or less than that. Follow the advice, deliver the strategy, get to the other side of this as soon as we can. And I would just say to that individual and anyone else, I appreciate that this is very painful, very difficult. But any economic benefit that might be derived over the next 5 or 6 weeks by a carve-out won't mean much if instead of this being a 6-week lockdown, it's a 6-month lockdown. That's the other point that I think has to be made.